It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.
The Road to World Cup 26 podcast. Oh, it's a special edition. We're only one day in and we're already doing special editions because last night was very exciting. The World Cup got off to an absolutely cracking start. Good games of football and controversial decisions. That's what we like. And FIFA, we think, already overstretching their attendance figures. Dearie me. My name is Nick Britten. I'm your host as always. Ken Davies is with me as he is always. Ken, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, it's great. Really enjoyed watching. I didn't manage to watch the one in the middle of the night live, but I watched the first game live, which was a really interesting game for many different reasons. And we're going to talk about some of those things.
Yeah, I thought Mexico looked pretty good, actually, as I expected them to. I predicted on yesterday's podcast, by the way, Mexico would win 2-0, and indeed they did win 2-0. So
yeah, you did very well. You did very well on that. One little bit of statistics that came up last night, which I thought is relevant, will be relevant to England one day, is it seems that Mexico, when they've played in the Azteca Stadium, in all the history of playing there, which is like 90 years, 90 or something very close, they've lost twice.
Yeah. You see, when we went through this, I know, but we went through this in yesterday's pod. And when I got to Mexico will be England at the Azteca, you said no.
Well, I've changed my mind. If they've lost twice in 90, in like literally since the First World War, I mean, suddenly Mexico have got a great chance. And they looked really good last night. Really high press, really fast paced, all over South Africa. South Africa were dreadful. They looked really on it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that game, shall we? I'm on the move today, by the way, so I haven't got my usual microphone. So hopefully my sound is coming across loud and clear to you. Very much expected, I think, Mexico to win, but the game was dominated by 3 red cards. Now, this is truly extraordinary when you bear in mind that the World Cups in Russia and Qatar, which are the previous 2, each had 4 red cards across the entire competition. And we had 3 red cards in one match.
Yeah, but
it's been 20 years. It's been 20 years since 3 players were sent off in one match. And that was in the 2006 finals. And 28 players got red cards during those finals. So a referee's delight to kick off the tournament, Ken.
In a way, but I imagine there was an awful lot of referees around the world scratching their heads at some of these decisions. Just to give us a quick overview, the first one is straight red. No one is going to argue about the first one. Clear denial of goal scoring opportunity. Yeah, that's straight. That's clear as a bell, isn't it?
Yeah. So Mexican players running through. It was Sitole, South African defender. He's clean through on goal. He just pulls him back and fouls him. There's no referee on the planet, even referees who aren't referees, would give that. Anybody in my cat would give that as a red card.
Yeah. There was nowhere else about them. It was a clear red. Poor old Sitole. He lived up to his name a bit, didn't he? Because he gave that ball away for the first goal, and then he's cropped him for a straight red, and then he's subbed straight after. I mean, literally, that was a Sitole of a performance from him.
But it couldn't have been subbed straight after. He was sent off.
That's right. He was sent off. No, he wasn't subbed off. He can't be sent off.
He can't be sent off and then subbed.
No, right. He was sent off. You're quite right. So it was a bad day for him. But then we get the 2 of the reds, which are just mind-boggling. The first one is a kind of a tussle, a bit of a tangle, a bit of looks nothing. Absolutely. Oh, that's because it was nothing. Yeah. And essentially 2 athletes just going at it, and it kind of someone shrugging other people off. There's a hand up. It's not a fist. It's not even aimed at the face, but it's near the face. That seems to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, there was a hand that in the tussling made connection with the face. So I think the referee, if he wanted to in that situation, was justified to give a foul. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. A yellow card would have been extremely harsh. He's sent to the monitor. He
Yeah,
didn't give it. He was sent to
that's
the
the key,
monitor,
isn't it?
which is never a good thing. You kind of know what's happening then once VAR start getting involved. Here we go. Do you know what, Ken? We've had an entire season in the Premier League talking about VAR disasters, and you think, well, at least it'll be all right at a World Cup. They're going to have to be better there. And here we are, one game in, and VAR's already making a horrendous decision, calling the referee over and asking him to provide a red card. And it's just absolute nonsense.
Complete nonsense. In the commentary on the TV
So
last night.
At that stage, South Africa down to 9 men.
Yeah.
And a goal down. And I mean, we got no chance.
Yeah, absolutely no chance. In the commentary on TV last night, when I was listening to it, everyone said, well, what's going on now? He's gone over to the monitor for some reason, because nobody even thought it was a foul. And the VAR, they've got a VAR technician on the part of the commentary team said, oh, he's being sent off for this. And they're like, what? Why? And well, because he raises hand. It's like the VAR technician people have got no understanding of the actual game of football. That these things happen. It's a physical game. There was absolutely no intent. There was absolutely no viciousness about it. If we're sending people off for that, literally, we're going to end up playing 6-a-side at the end of the World Cup. And then we come to another one.
Yeah. Just to level it up. We've got.
Do you reckon there was a bit of that
this
in
time? South Africa, on the attack, and there's a challenge. Yeah, there's a challenge goes in from Cesar Montes, kind of on the edge of the box as the South Africa player was running, not towards goal, but kind of, if he'd carried on running, he would have hit the touchline, left of goal, if you like, or right of goal as you're looking at it. So he wasn't running towards the goal. There were covering defenders. There were players. He would have had to have crossed the ball. He wasn't in a shooting position.
He was not a score from there.
And it's a clear foul. It's a clear yellow card.
Very professional foul.
Oh yeah, he took him out. It's a yellow, but I don't understand. And the referee did issue a straight red. He didn't have to go. He wasn't very. I didn't bother with this one. I would love to know under what kind of guise, because you're thinking, well, distance to goal, fair enough. He was quite close to the goal, but his direction of travel was not at the goal. There were covering defenders. Was it actually a goal scoring opportunity, let alone, an obvious one? No. So I'd like to know what referee Wilton Pereira Sampaio, who is from Brazil, who refereed this game, what he's thinking, frankly. What are you thinking, mate? Well, are you making a name for yourself?
Maybe, but I can only think that maybe the referees, officials have said to him, this is important to set the right tone here, important to make sure that we clamp down on anything, that looks like it. We don't want to make any mistakes on this. And he's just gone way over the top on it. Well,
he didn't set the right tone, and he made two massive mistakes.
Really big errors. But the errors are the same error. The errors are he's being too strict. He's being too draconian. And in fact, I just wonder whether the authority have said to him, look, we want you to be strict. But he's just gone way over the top with it.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's often what you see this in at the start of a season or at the start of a competition where refs do daft things and then they relax into it a bit more.
Yeah, and that's exactly what will happen. We're not going to see 3 red cards per game. It was just one of those weird anomalies that you get in football. And I think, if anything, the referees will be looking at that going, I don't want a piece of that, thank you very much. And if anything, they're going the other way now. Yeah. So we'll see. It was a really weird officiating for an opening game when the whole world is watching. I don't think he's done himself any favours whatsoever with that performance.
No, I don't think so. And I think, by the way, that second one was looked at by VAR in the background, and they said there wasn't any reason to contradict the referee's decision. But it was 2 poor decisions, good game. South Africa were poor. Mexico were good. I think Mexico are going to be a real force, and the best team won. And it was 80,000 screaming Mexicans, and it was a real joyous occasion. And it felt like a proper World Cup.
Did you see the videos of? So they put these paper sombreros on everybody's seat.
Yeah,
everybody's using them as like frisbees. It was brilliant.
Yeah, yes, I did. I thought you remember like Argentina in 1978, where the pitch was littered with paper.
Yeah, with the ticker tape. Yeah,
I thought this was going to be like just hats everywhere on the pitch. So that was the first game. Second game, also Mexico. Guadalajara was South Korea against Czechia.
Yes.
Much more.
No red cards.
No
red cards.
Much better officiated generally. South Korea looked absolutely full of life, full of energy. Couldn't finish, but they were absolutely dominant the first half. Czechia just poor, just relying on set pieces generally, and corners and throw-ins. Just a matter of time before they break through, and eventually South Korea did. Czechia got an equaliser from a set piece before the winner for South Korea. So yeah, I think South Korea looked really good.
Well, the table looks after one game each exactly how I'd expect it to look at the end of the group, really, with Mexico and South Korea going through, and Czechia and South Africa finishing third and fourth. I thought South Korea. I expect teams like South Korea and Japan, those sort of South Asian sides, to be full of vim, full of energy, because that's their trademark. And I think Korea were that. I think they're a good side, and they outperformed Czechia on every single stat. They doubled the amount of shots, double the amount of shots on target, not far off double possession, loads more passes, loads more passing accuracy. The only thing that Czechia beat them on was the number of corners, on 5-4. So it was a very 2-1 might not look dominant, particularly when Czechia took the lead. With only half an hour to go against the run of play, you wondered. But South Korea came back into it. They scored on 67, they scored on 80, and the right team won the game. And I think when they look back on it, they'll think we should have won by a bit more.
I think so. One of the things that did come out in the negative column for South Korea was they looked a little bit at sea from set pieces. And as we know, we've seen in the Premier League this season, set pieces become very, very, very important now in terms of conversion to goals. South Korea looked very susceptible to a set piece. That might be a developing story, I think, on South Korea.
Yeah, fair dues. I was pleased. I like watching them just because I love Heung-min Son. I think he's brilliant.
And he was great last night. He was pulling all the strings. It looks like he's lost a bit of sharpness on his finishing, but he's a great player still.
Yeah. We've missed him in the Premier League since he left Tottenham. I think he was one of the great assets. Great asset to our leagues.
And a great bloke all around.
Yeah.
And though, the second point, though, in relation to that game in Guadalajara was that stadium is a 46,000-seater stadium. And the official attendance given by FIFA was 44,985. No chance. And if anybody saw that, or if you want to look at the highlights, do a little freeze frame wherever you are in the ground and count the empty seats. I did that because I'm sad. And no, that's the end of it. I'm sad. No. I reckon 25% of the seats I saw were empty, which means, let's say it was 75% full, which I think is a bit generous. That's a 35,000 attendee game. Are we going to get gaslighted by FIFA on attendances, Nick?
100%. I think I'm surprised they didn't put out the attendance at 60,000. So a full ground and 20,000 outside trying to get in. Yeah, of course we are. They're never ever going to admit, after everything they've said, and after all the fiasco with ticket prices and all of that, and this constant narrative of every game sold out, that we've been hearing from Infantino and his lot for months now, there's no possible way they're going to announce a crowd anything other than capacity.
Well, this
doesn't matter how many people. Doesn't matter, and there's going to be lower crowds than that, by the way.
Oh, this was the second game. This was South Korea's first game. There's a lot of South Koreans there. It was surprisingly empty. For a second game.
This will be a feature, and you've predicted it. I predicted it. This will be a feature of this World Cup in the early games, not at the last stages, not with the big teams, but in these group games where they are. I mean, I wouldn't call Korea necessarily a minnow, but when the small teams are playing, nobody will go.
Yeah, I think that's true. Looking at the games tonight, Qatar against Switzerland. I mean, if there's more than 20,000 people really there, I'd be surprised.
Mate, if there's more than 20 people there, I'll be surprised.
You counting the players as well?
Yeah.
No, I beg. Yeah, that's on Saturday. So tonight, by the way,
we've got the hosts. We've got the hosts, haven't we? Canada and USA.
We've got Canada against Bosnia tonight.
Yeah.
Then we've got Qatar at 8 o'clock tomorrow, UK time. Brazil, 11 o'clock tomorrow, and United States overnight, haven't we?
Yeah. So 4 games there. Canada, Bosnia. I'm afraid I don't think it's going to be one to really get our pulses racing. I can see a kind of 0-0 affair there, or maybe a 1-0 to either side. USA, Paraguay. That's good. It was good to see the USA in action, and they'll be wanting to get off to a good start. They'll want to light the nation up and get everybody excited. So I would expect them to win that game. Switzerland, I imagine, will beat Qatar. I mean, Switzerland are just, they're always there. They're in the background, aren't they? They never do much, but they should be too strong for Qatar. And really, the game of the weekend and the game of the tournament so far is Brazil versus Morocco.
That'll be a great game. I'm staying up for that one.
Yeah, definitely staying up for that one. Yeah,
staying up for that one. So, all right, I'm going to actually
hang about. We've got Scotland as well, haven't we, over the weekend? And
Scotland's on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going into Sunday morning.
Yeah, Saturday night. Sunday morning. I'm
still confused. I'm still confused over the times here in the UK compared to the times in when the games are being played in their time zones, because they're all sort of in the middle of the night and late at night, aren't they?
They are. So, okay, Canada against Bosnia. You're going to go for what's the result? You don't need a score. Just need who's winning.
I think it'll be a 0-0 draw.
So you're going for a draw. USA against Paraguay.
I'll go for a narrow USA win, although I think it might be a draw, but I'll back the USA.
I want Paraguay to win that. Qatar against Switzerland. You're going for an away?
Switzerland. Away win. I think they're both away.
You know what I mean. Brazil against Morocco.
Yeah, Brazil. But what a great game to watch.
That could be anything. Yeah, that could be anything.
It could be anything, but I would expect Brazil to win that first game.
Very good. So that's what we've got to look forward to. So it got off with a blast. It went off with a big blast yesterday.
Told you, didn't I? I told you yesterday that as soon as the football starts, everything else just melts into the background, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, I'm sure the ref would like to be melting into the background right now after that performance last night. I wonder if we'll ever see him again. I reckon he's on. They're probably going to ring that bloke up that didn't let in from Somalia or wherever he was from and say, "Hey, sorry, we've made a terrible mistake. Can you pop over? We've got a space for you." Or wherever he was from.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see whether this Brazilian referee will do another game or not, or not. No, he will. I mean, or more importantly, how he referees his next game.
Yeah. I'm sure he will. But I want. So, other prediction. Quick prediction from you. 4 games we've just talked about there. How many red cards will be given out in those 4 games?
We won't see any more red cards now.
We won't for a while.
I mean, unless they're absolutely blindingly obvious. So unless it is like the first red card yesterday, or somebody's clean through and goal just gets taken out, or it's a horrible foul. But I don't think I'd be surprised if there's any red cards in the foreseeable future.
Do you reckon we'll have more red cards in this World Cup than ever before now?
No, I don't think so, because it's one game, isn't it? I mean, we only got one. We got one yellow in the Czechia South Korea game.
Yeah, but that's Czechia and South Korea. South Korea play with handshakes, don't they? They're just the most politest footballers in the world.
Yeah, but it was South Korea that got the yellow card.
What, for excessive kindness?
Excessive niceness. Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, brilliant. Well, that was the first day.
Yeah. Great. Here we go. We're off and running, people. We're off and running.
I'm sure we'll talk again at the weekend. I think we're due to do another one on Sunday, aren't we?
Sunday morning, yeah. Sunday morning, so we'll catch up then, mate. And
there'll be a lot to talk about then, Scotland.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Yeah, we'll know by then. Yeah, we'll know how Scotland got on there. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Right. Good. Enjoy yourselves, everybody. Look after yourselves, look after each other. See you later.
See you later.
It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.